Level 1, the Halcon. You are 15 years old. You don't apply online like everyone else. There is no form on a website where you fill in your education. You are recruited on a dusty street corner because you are poor, hungry, and desperate for respect. Your first job is the absolute bottom of the food chain, the Halcon. You sit on a stolen dirt bike with a burner phone, staring at the main roads entering your neighborhood. You are the disposable eyes and ears of the cartel. You are trained to spot surveillance and to see patterns that civilians miss. A military truck that circles the block twice. A police cruiser sitting at an intersection too long. You text a code word to your boss and disappear. You make a few $100s a week, but you are completely expendable. You learn quickly that in this world, if the police raid the block, nobody is coming to save you. Level 2, the smuggler. Your heart is pounding against your ribs so hard you think it might break them. You have graduated from watching the streets to moving the product. You are strapped with tightly wrapped packages, sweating in the back of a modified truck, approaching a heavily armed border checkpoint. This is the hook of your new reality, sheer terror. You know that if the dogs bark or the guards pull you out of line, you won't have a lawyer or diplomatic protection. If you get caught, the cartel will deny you exist. You will be prosecuted under local laws, which in this business usually means a brutal prison sentence, or worse, a bullet in the back of the head and an unmarked grave. You hold your breath as the guard waves you through. You just made the cartel $1 million. They hand you $5,000. You realize you are nothing but a beast of burden, but the money is more than your parents made in 10 years. Level 3, the street dealer. You survive the border runs and are handed your own territory. You now control a specific corner or neighborhood block. Your real career is about to begin. You manage the lower level runners, deal directly with the addicts, and collect the cash. It is a violent, chaotic, and paranoid life. You have to constantly defend your turf from rival gangs trying to encroach on your profits. The washout rate at this level is incredibly high. Some people crack under the pressure, and some people are simply too weak for this work. You survive because you learn to be ruthless. You realize that to move up in this organization, you have to prove you aren't just willing to sell the product. You have to prove you are willing to kill for it. Level 4, the hitman. You have proven your loyalty and you are officially made the muscle. You trade your street corner for an assault rifle. Your days now consist of brazen assassinations, violent kidnappings, and brutal intimidation tactics to protect the cartel's vast interests. You are the one kicking down a door and clearing a room. You carry out hits in broad daylight to send a message. The psychological toll of the violence is immense. To survive without losing your mind, you learn to compartmentalize. You force yourself to do terrible things, to end lives without a second thought, and then go home and eat dinner with your family like nothing happened. You become numb to the blood. You are a professional predator, a necessary monster in a multi-billion-dollar machine. Level 5, the Jefe de Plaza. You have survived the street wars long enough to be handed the keys to an entire city. You are the plaza boss. You control all the drug routes, the local extortion rackets, and the street crime in your designated territory. You are no longer just shooting your way out of problems. You are actively corrupting the system. You realize that out here, loyalties are fluid and money talks. You never know who might betray you for a bigger payout from the other side. So, you buy them first. You use briefcases full of cash to buy the loyalty of the local police chief, the judges, and the mayor. You aren't just a criminal anymore. You are the unofficial governor of the city. Level 6, the fixer. Your undeniable talent for systemic corruption moves you into the shadows of the upper management. You become a fixer, and your entire job is to recruit assets, convincing politicians, military generals, and border officials to betray their countries for the cartel. You know that an asset is anyone who has access to information you want. You study their habits, their weaknesses, and their vulnerabilities. Does he have gambling debts? Does she have a sick child who needs expensive treatment? You understand the 4 human motivations: money, ideology, coercion, and ego. Everyone fits into one of these categories, and your job is to figure out which one and exploit it. If a massive cash bribe doesn't work, you pivot to coercion, threatening their families until they have no choice but to comply. Level 7, the accountant. You trade the body armor and assault rifles for spreadsheets, encrypted servers, and offshore bank accounts. You are the financial architect of the cartel. You are responsible for washing the massive, illegal profits through front companies, luxury real estate, and shell corporations. You sit at a desk managing billions of dollars in black budget funding that officially doesn't exist. Money that never appears in any government report. You ensure the blood money flows cleanly into the legitimate global banking system. You are the grease in the gears. Without you, the billions of dollars in cash would just rot in warehouses. You are technically a white-collar criminal, but the penalty for a rounding error isn't getting fired. It's being tortured to death. Level 8, the paramilitary commander. The cartel is at war, and they need a general. You command the cartel's heavily armed private army. You are running a rogue elite unit that operates much like the CIA's Special Activities Division, filled with ex-military mercenaries and foreign contractors who make 3 times the salary of a normal soldier. These are the people who go where regular street thugs cannot. You lead convoys of armored trucks into open warfare against rival cartels and government forces. You utilize advanced small unit tactics, explosives, and heavy weapons. You order strikes that turn enemy compounds into smoking craters. You leave a trail of destruction in your wake, turning quiet rural towns into active war zones. Level 9, the logistics director. You are pulled back from the front lines to become the mastermind behind the international supply chain. You coordinate a massive hidden infrastructure, narco submarines navigating the coastlines, fleets of private planes flying under the radar, and massive underground border tunnels equipped with rail systems. You treat the illegal drug trade exactly like a ruthless, highly efficient Fortune 500 company. You manage the seamless flow of product from the deep jungles of South America straight to the streets of major global cities. You know that the whole thing is a machine that runs on secrets and blood, and you are one of the key people who keeps it running. Level 10, the lieutenant. You are now part of the exclusive, highly paranoid inner circle. You meet directly with high-value targets, allied warlords, and the Supreme Capo. You sit in tense, heavily guarded rooms where decisions are made that will never be acknowledged. You serve as the ultimate buffer between the street-level violence and the leadership. When the politicians or the media ask questions, you carefully ensure the top bosses always have plausible deniability. You orchestrate the violence from a distance, deciding who lives, who dies, and who takes the fall when the government needs a scapegoat to parade on the evening news. Level 11. The shadow politician. You operate completely out of the direct line of fire, managing the cartel's highest level national political connections. You buy entire elections. You secretly fund presidential campaigns to ensure the military looks the other way and targets your rivals instead of you. You operate at diplomatic functions in expensive suits, shaking hands with officials and remembering everything they say. You have realized that absolutely everything in the world is for sale. You have completely lost faith in governments, flags, and causes. You know the only universal truth is the transaction. You pull the strings of the nation from the shadows. Level 12, the capo. You are the absolute kingpin. You have achieved total, unchecked power, but you are a terrified prisoner of your own massive success. The paranoia is suffocating. You suspect every single phone is tapped, and you trust no one because you know the exact people you pay millions of dollars to could betray you tomorrow for a bigger payout from the CIA or a rival faction. You live constantly on the run, bouncing between heavily fortified safe houses that change every 48 hours. You sleep 2 hours at a time. You have billions of dollars, but you cannot safely walk into a restaurant or a park. You are the most powerful man in the country, and you are entirely trapped in a cage built of your own money and violence. Level 13, the legend. Your violent reign inevitably ends. It always does. If you survive the military raids, the drone strikes, or the betrayals of your own lieutenants, you end up stripped of your empire. You might be locked in a supermax prison for the rest of your life. Or you might be a multi-billionaire fugitive hiding in a freezing mountain cabin. Your body is breaking down. You have knees that ache every morning and a ringing in your ears that never goes away. You can't sleep without heavy medication. You wake up at 3 a.m. and walk the perimeter of your hideout looking for threats that aren't there. You are utterly alone with your horrifying memories, the assets you betrayed, the people you ordered killed, the bodies that piled up in countries most people couldn't find on a map. You did terrible things to build an empire that crumbled. You are a ghost, and somewhere on a dusty street corner, a 15-year-old kid is sitting on a dirt bike, totally unaware of the nightmare he is signing up for. The cycle begins again.